Hey, Falcons fans! Let me tell you something. When you're in the trenches, when the whole world is counting you out, when every analyst on every network is writing your obituary, that's when champions are born, baby. And what we just witnessed last Sunday in the Big Easy, that wasn't just a win. That was a statement. That was Atlanta football showing the entire league, we're not dead yet. I know what you're thinking. 5 straight losses. The noise got loud. The doubters were circling like vultures. Social media was a war zone. But you know what separates the real fans from the bandwagoners? The real ones stick around for moments like this. Now, I've got some explosive information about what really went down in New Orleans, why this victory means so much more than just ending a losing streak, and here's where it gets crazy. Why the rest of the NFC South should be absolutely terrified right now. Because what happened in that locker room after the game? The energy shift we're seeing in this team? Man, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But before we dive into the juicy details, before I break down the 3 game-changing moments that nobody's talking about, and before I reveal what this means for our playoff push, let me set the scene for you. Listen up. If you're bleeding red and black, if you believe this team is about to shock the world, then do not just sit there. Smash that like button like you're breaking through the Saints' defensive line. Hit subscribe like your playoff hopes depend on it, because honestly, your sanity might. And slam that notification bell so you don't miss a single second of this resurgence. Only 1% of you actually do it, but you're part of the 1% that never gave up on this team. Let's show the league that Falcons Nation is louder than ever. Do it now! Picture this, you're walking into the Superdome. 70,005 screaming Saints fans. The same building where Drew Brees built a dynasty. Where Atlanta has historically struggled to get wins. And you're riding a 5-game losing streak. 5 games. The pressure? It's suffocating. It's the kind of pressure that breaks teams, that ends seasons, that gets coaches fired and quarterbacks benched. But here's the thing about pressure, it either crushes you or it creates diamonds. And on Sunday, we watched our Falcons turn into diamonds right before our eyes. The defense came out hungry. I'm talking Mike Tyson in his prime hungry. We held the Saints to just 3.76 yards per play. You heard me right, 3.76. That's the lowest we've allowed since 2018. These boys were flying around like they had something to prove. D. Alford? 10 tackles. Career high. This man was everywhere. Every time I looked up, number 23 was making a play. That's what happens when a team decides they're done being counted out. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Kirk Cousins. 2 words that have generated more debate in Atlanta than Waffle House versus IHOP. Some days he looks like a franchise savior. Other days? Well, let's just say the interceptions haven't been pretty. Coming into this game, the questions were deafening. Can he bounce back? Is he still the guy? Should we be looking elsewhere? And then the tragedy struck during the losing streak. Michael Penix Jr., our future, goes down with another knee injury. His 3rd season-ending knee injury in 5 years. My heart breaks for that kid, I really does. He's out there in LA right now prepping for reconstructive surgery while we're all praying for his recovery. So suddenly, it's all on Kirk. No backup plan. No safety net. Just him, the playbook, and 53 guys who needed a leader. And you know what happened? The man delivered. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you he was perfect. He threw a pick-6 in the 2nd quarter, his 16th career pick-6, tying him for 3rd among active quarterbacks. That's not great, folks. Matthew Stafford leads the category with 30, and trust me, that's not a leaderboard you want to climb. But here's what the stat sheet doesn't show you, that interception? He made the right read. He threw it right where it needed to be. Kyle Pitts just couldn't haul it in, it went through his hands. Sometimes football is cruel like that. What matters is what Cousins did after that moment. Because champions aren't defined by their mistakes, they're defined by their response. 16 of 23 passes. 2 touchdowns, 199 yards. Those are the numbers, but they don't tell the story. The story is in that fourth quarter bomb to Darnell Mooney. 49 yards of pure electricity. Mooney finally came alive, and Cousins delivered the kind of strike that reminded everyone why Atlanta signed him in the first place. That throw? That was the longest air yard pass Kirk has thrown as a Falcon. Raheem Morris said it perfectly in the locker room. That's what Mooney is more like. He came to life today. Exactly. That's the connection we've been waiting for. That's the explosive play that can change games, change seasons, change everything. But you want to know my favorite moment of the entire game? It wasn't even a pass. Kirk Cousins, 36-year-old Kirk Cousins, lowered his shoulder on a scramble and took a hit like he was back in high school. The man said, and I quote, "I thought this is going to be a collision, but I don't know how to do this any other way. So I just said, let's take it back to high school and lower the shoulder and may the best man win." That's leadership. That's heart. That's telling your team, I'm all in on this fight. When your quarterback is willing to sacrifice his body like that, the other 10 guys on offense notice. The defense notices. The entire franchise notices. Let's talk about Zane Gonzalez for a second. This man became the first Falcons kicker since 1995 to make 2 field goals from 54-plus yards in the same game. Meanwhile, the Saints kicker missed 2 attempts. Before this game, opposing kickers had only missed 2 field goals against us all season. The football gods were smiling on Atlanta last Sunday. And can we give it up for Bijan Robinson? 14 carries, 70 yards, doing the dirty work in the trenches. Tyler Algier adding another 44 yards on the ground. That's 114 combined rushing yards from our dynamic duo. That's controlling the line of scrimmage. That's imposing your will on the opponent. The Saints' leading rusher? Their quarterback with 22 yards. When was the last time that happened to us? 2018. That's how dominant our run defense was. Speaking of defense, Divine Deablo played his heart out with a club on his hand. His first game back from injury, can't use his left hand properly, and he's out there bear-hugging dudes trying to make tackles. He said, "I think I hugged a few people out there, trying to get my arms around them so they couldn't escape." That's the kind of grit that wins championships, baby. Here's something that'll blow your mind. This 24-10 victory was our largest margin of victory in New Orleans since 2019. 6 years of close games, heartbreakers, last-second losses, and we finally got some breathing room. And check this out, the Falcons Saints all-time regular season record? It's now tied at 56-56. Dead even. This rivalry is as balanced as it gets, and we just took back our share of the throne. Kirk Cousins now has 20 touchdown passes as a Falcon, putting him at 10th all-time in franchise history. He also tied Johnny freaking Unitas, for 17th most touchdown passes in NFL history with 290. One more and he ties Warren Moon at number 16. That's the kind of company our quarterback is keeping. Hall of Famers. Legends of the game. The Falcons are 4-7. Let's not sugarcoat it, that's not where we want to be. But here's the reality, we're 4-2 when leading at halftime. We know how to finish games when we get ahead. The defense is playing lights out. We've allowed just 146 rushing yards in the last 2 games combined after getting gashed for 323 against the Colts. That's a massive improvement. That's a unit finding its identity. We've had 4 games this season with multiple rookies recording at least a half sack. That's the most in franchise history. Our young guys are developing, getting better every single week. This Sunday, we face the Jets at MetLife Stadium. They're 2-9, coming off a loss to Baltimore. And here's a juicy connection for you, our defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. He used to be the Jets defensive coordinator from 2021 to 24. He was even their interim head coach last year. This man knows their playbook. He knows their tendencies. He knows how Aaron Rodgers thinks. If there was ever a get-right game, if there was ever a chance to build momentum, if there was ever a time to stack wins and make a statement, this is it. Listen, Falcons Nation. I know it's been a rough ride. I know the playoffs are a long shot. I know we've been tested, questioned, and doubted at every turn. But here's what I also know. This team just showed us something special in New Orleans. They showed us heart. They showed us resilience. They showed us that when everyone counts them out, when the pressure is at its highest, they can respond. Kirk Cousins isn't perfect. This team isn't perfect. But you know what? Neither were the 2007 Giants when they started their playoff run. Neither were the 2017 Eagles when Nick Foles took over. Football is about momentum. It's about confidence. It's about believing in each other when nobody else does. And right now, I'm seeing that belief grow. So here's what I need from you, Falcons Nation. Whether you're riding the train all the way or just peeking in to see what happens, we need to show up. We need to support these guys. We need to believe. Because I'm telling you right now, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. The rest of the NFC South better be watching. Because Atlanta just remembered who they are. Go Falcons!